G'day, everybody. Welcome back for another night of VCS action here on VCS English. My name is Everyday. With me are the smartest two men I know, Yulwei and Vinnie. How are you tonight?
Learning you have a very small social circle.
Or a very dumb one.
Boy, what does that mean?
Not playing against you. I'm just stupid.
Totally fair.
Well, boys, we do have some fun games tonight. Kicking us off is Percent taking on GAM, and then later on tonight we'll have OPG against the Team Secret. About to say Saigon Buffalo. We're off to a great start here. I can totally remember basic things. It is Team Secret, but we have a few things to talk about first. And I want to get your thoughts on a certain menace that has risen on the Rift. Her name's Karma, and she is being picked too much. Can you two please break down why we're suddenly seeing her?
So I'm going to start. The first ridiculous stat is that she was actually picked 5 times yesterday, and every single game she was picked yesterday was first rotation. These are the stats for the first 2 weeks. She was present in week 1, but not quite as highly prioritized as yesterday. We can see 5 bans in first rotation, 8 picks in first rotation, 3 picks afterwards. Most of the Karma games were solo lane Karma, and most of those were mid lane Karmas actually. And one thing that is definitely jumps out from those games is that more than half of the Karma games she was paired with an ADC jungler. So that seems to be the main meta read for our VCS teams, and she's actually very highly prioritized here, higher than in other regions too, where stuff like Yumi sees a little bit more presence than in the VCS maybe. But Karma is one of the main annoyances right now in the VCS.
And she's not even that good, honestly. She's being picked. She's got a really high early priority because of the flex potential. She can go into the support. She can go into either solo lane. But her win rate's like 30-something%. Oh yeah, 36%. It's right there. And it's not good. And I'm not sure if it's a case of people don't know how to play her, because we have seen some shocking performances. We have Parquet going 0-5-0 on it, and Genza 0-4-1. So nothing spectacular coming out of this pick, and it's just why are we putting so much priority on it? And I guess it's to support the Graves and Kindred picks, but
indeed, no.
But
it doesn't work. It's still not working. Even with the ADC jungler, it's not actually working that well. And honestly, I feel like she's a fine support. Whenever she put down the support position, I'm generally happy. I think she's quite strong in the support position, can win lane very reliantly, and also provide a lot in team fights. But in the mid lane position, I'm just not sure she's the right thing for the VCS, where a lot of kills happen. I feel like Karma is more of an slow game style where you really want to go one team fight to win it all, and then your Karma has 2 shields to shield your 2 hyper carries and stuff. So I feel like Karma just does not fit the heavy skirmish early game style we see a lot in the VCS.
Yeah, and if you're going for a support pick, you can get that lane pressure, and you can go for a double poke lane with Ezreal. And from what we've seen, yeah, she's only won 1 game as a support and lost 2, but she wasn't the problem really in the game she lost on support. That was just Percent not being able to match up to GAM.
That was top difference.
Buffalo. That was top.
Top
yeah,
difference.
That game was mostly top diff.
Yeah.
But
so something I want to bring up as sort of just something to discuss in regards to this. Because, yeah, the Karma is being highly prioritized. Is it working? Is it partially because she's being mostly paired with Graves? Is it a Graves issue or is it a Karma issue?
I think it actually comes down to the fact that Graves is not a hyper carry champion and is played too much as a hyper carry champion. So you want Karma definitely is a very strong facilitator. But if you don't have the damage to facilitate, then what are you facilitating? So I feel like Karma suffers from the fact that people still misread Graves as the late game hyper carry he is not He doesn't have the auto attacks. He can't go through turrets. He can't actually target the correct target if someone stands in front of them. So he really is not the main damage dealer in the late game, especially. And if you go calmer, you rely on a strong auto attacker in another position. And I feel like if we would see more Kindred, if we would see more, I think even Trundle can work well with calmer mid lane. She would have a little bit of a higher success rate. But yeah, things like 𝗚𝗚𝗿𝗵𝗵, I could see working with Karma too, where he just runs in even faster, has a lot of auto attack damage, is tankier. But the Grace is just not. The teams are misreading Grace as a champion, and subsequently also misreading Karma and Grace as a duo.
Yeah, I don't think Graves is too much the problem. Now I'm going to be a little bit results-based analysis here, but the majority of her wins as a solo laner come with paired with Graves. Granted, she's only won 3 games in solo lane, so it's not a huge sample size.
Yeah, she lost 5.
But
yeah,
it's so 2 with Graves, 1 with Kindred. That's it. She's only won 3 games in the solo lane out of 4
Well,
games
boys,
won.
it's definitely going to be interesting to see whether Karma will be good or bad today. Hopefully, maybe if the teams have, I don't know, done a good deed, then they can get some good karma. And, well, if they've been naughty, been mean to their coach, then it'll certainly be the bad karma. But moving on, there is a player we wanted to talk about. Of course, our first matchup today is _𝗀 taking on 𝗀𝗄𝗯. And there's one 𝗀𝗄𝗯 player I wanted to focus in on, and I hope you guys will join me on this focus, because if you told someone, hey, bang, name all 5 𝗀𝗄𝗯 players, they'll go, Levi, and they'll get the bot lane. But then they'll get 𝗬𝗨. They'll get him. They'll remember him. But they'll always get him last. He doesn't. I said Dia first.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. 𝗬𝗨 has probably the weakest name recognition on the team. He flies under the radar, but I think he's the best player on 𝗀𝗄𝗯 right now. And I don't think it's close. I think he's clearly
has an
the best player.
argument to say he's the best player in the league right now. Of course, it's very early in the split. Of course, he got 2
him or Husband
MVPs, and he has been stomping top lane. It's not even fair. Like, all the games he has played in the top lane looked like top difference, and even the game he lost, he generally did well in. Against 𝗚𝗏, the one game they lost definitely was not on 𝗬𝗨, and yesterday, the 𝗚𝗏𝗵𝗵, where they got stomped by OPG, the 𝗚𝗏𝗵𝗵 still looked good. He even got a solo kill, if I remember correctly. So I'm a really big 𝗬𝗨 fan. I think he's even better than last year or last split, and looks like one of the front runners for MVP for me.
Yeah, and 𝗬𝗨, when he was sort of picked as the starting top lane for 𝗀𝗄𝗯, it was a little bit questionable. It was a little bit questionable because we thought, isn't he the 3rd best of the Yoshino, Zeros, 𝗬𝗨 trio that they had? But he's shown why they picked him, hasn't he? But now,
well, it was interesting because when we had the situation that was kind of weird, we had the situation in spring last year where the 3 best top laners in the league all played for 𝗀𝗄𝗯. You had Yoshino, Zeros, and 𝗬𝗨 all on the same team. Zeros starting in the top lane and 𝗬𝗨 starting in the mid lane with Yoshino bench warming, which was a travesty. We then got Yoshino was freed. He went to Flash and really impressed us for a split. And you had the weird situation where Zeros was meant to go to China. Apparently teams were interested in him, wanted to give him a go, but coronavirus happened. He couldn't get into China for obvious reasons, which meant that he was splitting time with 𝗬𝗨. And I actually think the narrative changed really quickly because 𝗬𝗨 was absolutely stomping. He looked ridiculously good. And then Zeros came in and just kind of looked okay. He was still good.
Yeah.
But I think we started saying that 𝗬𝗨 was the best top laner in the league pretty early on last split. And I'm really glad he's continued it into this one.
Yeah.
Now that he doesn't ever have to split time, he is starting every match now. And if 𝗀𝗄𝗯 pick up another top laner to make him split time, I will go to Vietnam and I will punish them.
Yeah, this play is very exciting to watch, and I'm already so hyped for the matchup against 𝗀𝗃, because those two are top difference every game, and I want to see where the top difference, which side has top difference when they face off against each other. But for now, we have to see Kiaya stomp some more not so strong top laners.
So what I'm hearing is
actually,
you're not terribly excited for the matchup against YT.
I mean, I'm always excited to see
harder?
Kiaya stomp some kids, but probably not.
Oh, YT's hardly a kid. It's very much kicking the
What do you mean? He's
boomer
part of
down
the
line.
young generation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
Just
But I really like watching Kiaya succeed. He's got a very good story. He's a very good player, and he does fly under the radar sometimes, so I'm very happy to see it. But with that, we need to keep on cracking as our production is getting very antsy. So with that, I don't think we have too much more to talk about, except now we just want to get into the game. It is Percent versus GAM. First off, it's going to be an exciting one. Percent needs to see if they can kind of bounce back, continue their hot streak, or will GAM continue to be the dominant team at the top of the league? We'll find out soon. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with Champion Select in just a few minutes.
There's no time for redemption. Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. It's right there to take, or if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. I'll write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Go and rise for your nation. There's so much at stake. Will you show up? Oh, it's about damn time for a little salvation. Those flags you wave represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. I'll write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have
Welcome back, everybody. We do have our champion select beginning, and 𝗀𝗽𝗏 is the first one removed. What have you got your eyes on, boys of analyst? That didn't go well.
There is
All right,
something we wanted to focus on, of course. The Karma is banned by GAM. That is very interesting. Both teams played Karma a lot yesterday. 𝗀 2 games in the support position, GAM 2 games in the mid lane position. So was expected to be highly prioritized, but banned? I did not expect it to be banned, especially on blue side. So we see something different. Vinnie, you can be happy.
Yeah, now I'm expecting that GAM is looking for probably an Ezreal first pick, because they've been one of the only teams, I think, with actually a really high priority on that pick. But we could, I mean, it depends what gets banned from here. With the Aphelios ban from GAM,
Yeah, that screams Ezreal first.
I would like to see 𝗀 just ban Ezreal.
Yep. I expect them to ban Pantheon though. It's a very highly prioritized champ against GAM as well. They can flex it in 3 positions, maybe 2 now, as Pantheon jungle has kind of teetered off. It's not that strong anymore. Oh, Syndra. Okay, so
That's
Ezreal's
also
open.
an alright ban, but
Yeah, of
it's gonna
course,
be an
especially
Ezreal
against
pick,
tier 1.
And my favorite team is going to
So Ezreal, very likely. We could also see
Yeah.
Pantheon.
Yeah.
You have to.
There it
expect
is.
the snap.
There's
There
the
it
other
is.
one.
Yep, there it is. Bang.
So what
That
champs
was
would you
absolutely
like to see on 𝗀𝗏𝗏 for this game? Do you think we go last pick 𝗀𝗏𝗏?
Zoe's
So
open.
far-
Grab
Yeah.
Zoe, please.
I feel like Zoe's a very good
his
choice
best,
here.
It is one of his best champions. It's basically blind pickable. Holy moly!
Oh, I remember correctly.
Draven!
He's actually known for his Draven. He was a big Draven player before.
got
That's a long
Draven
time ago.
Fresh. Alright, that's a very strong bot lane. That is...
It's
they are looking to
Draven
match.
time.
So they've
Here
been
we
watching
go.
GAM, and they know when GAM loses early really hard. And if
And
GAM
GAM's
wins
bot
early,
lane
they
hasn't been
win
performing
early.
too well, so makes a lot of
So,
sense to attack bot
if they
lane.
can-
I like it a
yeah,
lot.
if they can smash it with this bot lane, there's
what you're saying-
4%.
So what you're saying is that if Draven does it all with style, they can get it done.
Indeed.
I love Draven. I just want to point out Draven
Unfortunately-
is one of my... I haven't
When was the
played...
last time we saw a Draven, man?
Draven
Unfortunately,
is one of my
style
favorite
comes
characters in the
properly.
game. Never have I been more upset that we don't get in-game stuff. Because Draven's voice lines are unmatched. They're the best
Well,
in the game.
Would have been Vietnamese Draven's voice line, so you wouldn't have understood.
I'm sure that that's still great.
So we have Set and
Set
Wukong.
lock in.
Ooh, the father-son matchup. Here we go.
Okay, we are really diving into some interesting
Alright,
picks for
that's how you
Set.
get rid of top difference. Put YT on
Alright.
Malphite.
Okay, but in all, like,
Continue.
okay, we're memeing a little bit. We are memeing a little bit, but genuinely talk to me about this % comp because it is wacky and wild so far.
So this screams to me it's bot lane focus over everything. Just put YT on a weak side top laner that can also TP in and add a lot of CC to bot lane dives. This already screams we are only playing through Big Hero. Everyone else is we ignore everyone else in this team.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially because I imagine Glory's going to be targeted quite heavily with these 2 bans. I mean, Zoe's gone. So we're definitely looking to see big card carry. We want full dive all the time, front
This
to
could
back.
still be
team
Malphite
fights.
mid.
It could be Malphite mid, but
Malphite
I-
definitely has come up more as a Wukong answer in the top lane, so I definitely expect this to be top lane Malphite into Wukong. Has a little bit of a
those.
yeah. So it doesn't really have the greatest laning phase early on, but once he hits level 7, level 8, he wins trades against Wukong. So it's a safe lane, and you probably need that against 𝗀𝗃𝗃, because he has been incredible.
Yeah, and there's the Yasuo ban. I was sort of expecting that to come through. Worth
Don't really
mentioning,
like this
Eagle
up.
is in today.
Yeah, that's true. Eagles back in. We saw Draktar
so-
yesterday.
We're probably going to see a more slower sort of less gank heavy jungler, which is kind of goes against the comp, but we see the Italy come in.
I agree with you.
I almost would have liked I probably would have liked a Trundle.
I would have liked a Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai fits this comp so well. As soon as just the nice dive reset.
I'm gonna pull out a quote that is from you, Yulwei. That is, you did say that Nidalee is a farming jungler, but she farms so fast that she kind of becomes a ganking jungler. She clears all her camps and then needs something to do. So you can definitely still go. Oh no way! We can't get it all in one game. We can't. I mean that. I don't know if you want to go full poke comp against Malphite Drake.
This comp is so cool. Come on, Gum, lock it in.
What's going on?
Well, it's still a weird jungler here. It's probably the Wukong jungle, right? Sylas top lane into Malphite, very good matchup. You think so?
Oh, Sylas jungle is so bad at the moment.
Is it
so
bad now? I don't know. I haven't.
It's slow and not healthy. It can't be. I don't think so.
Like Sylas as a counter pick into Malphite. I think that's super smart from Gum's side to just punish Malphite in an AP matchup. We can't itemize armor early on. This one is very, very smart as well. A lot of roaming. I thought we would see a Ryze last pick here for Glory to go bot lane with your ult, but Lissandra might even be better.
Yes, it has to be. Yes, it has to be Sylas jungle though. Yeah, it is Sylas jungle.
Wukong can be jungle.
You could go Wukong or Sylas support.
Yeah, and for some reason I thought set jungle was going to be a thing, but it is definitely Sylas jungle. It's not unplayable. It's not healthy though. So I think.
Do you think Wukong jungle is unplayable?
No, I think Wukong jungle's great. I just think Kiaya Wukong is really, really good.
Yeah, fair enough. And Levi has played Sylas before. He actually liked Sylas quite a lot, so makes sense.
30% had to read with that, because if it was going to be like a Sylas top, I would have just said put Glory on it and then pick, because they were hovering Irelia, so it looked like they might have swapped Malphite mid, then put Irelia up top into the Sylas sort of thing.
I mean, playing Sylas into Malphite's actually pretty miserable. He's like being a Sylas with a Malphite on the enemy team is great because you steal the ult and do stupid amounts of damage. But the actual lane is miserable because Malphite just ignores you, and he just go in, you go, aha, I'm doing all my spells, and then he goes bang, and he hits you with a big rocky hand. Okay. I lost the trade.
What do you think of these comps? I think GAM has drafted a very GAM composition. Another Jace mid lane game for DR1. This is his main champion now, it seems. So definitely holding true to their first two series this split. Percent's comp is a little strange to me. I would have really liked to see a ganking jungler to put all eggs into Bikora's basket. But
now
I'm not sure what the
I'm gonna cut you off because we've got to say goodbye to the main man Vineyard. So give us your snappy final impressions and who's going to take this one. And if you don't say percent, we're not friends anymore.
Okay, so apparently I'm going with percent. No, percent's comp really is really fun. I love it. GAM's is bread and butter with Dia and Ezreal. Well, it's their bread and butter now. Ezreal and Dia poke it down, then Kiaya, Levi, whoever dives in and executes. With that, I don't know. I've got faith. I'm keen for this Draven, so I'm going to throw my support behind percent.
Good boy. And we'll talk to you again after the match. Now, it will just be me and Yulwei on the mics to bring you this one. And oh boy, when was the last time we saw a Draven and its hail of blades even? That's scary.
Honestly, not even sure if we have ever cast a Draven together.
We've never cast a Draven. It's our first game casting a Draven, at least together. I think I've cast Draven at some point in the long distant past, but definitely not as the everywhere duo. And I want to see what build he goes. Does he go the Muramana build?
I hope so. I love Muramana. It also makes a lot of sense into Ezreal, of course, because Ezreal builds Muramana as well, so you actually go item parity, which can be very good, especially if you get ahead. One of the biggest strengths of Ezreal as an ADC is, even if any falls behind, his build path is so smooth and so cheap that even from behind you can be ahead in items.
Turn the music off. So, Production, you've got Pig Bear music on, just saying. No worries. Sorry about that. Thanks, chat. We obviously can't hear the stream, but we've informed production.
Should be all right now.
But do continue making your point. I was sorry to cut you off. I just had to.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. I'm very. I hope we get to see a lot of this bot lane because the other two lanes shouldn't be too exciting. But I feel like even the bot lane in the 2v2 is very hard to. It's very hard to do anything for Percent's side. I feel like they need dives, and GAM has drafted a very defensive bot lane with a lot of CC and a lot of tankiness with set support. So I feel like this can be a little bit of a farm fest for Draven, which is not that bad either. You can actually play. There have been some instances of teams playing weak side Draven as well, where you just let him farm, and then in the mid game you try to give him a kill for 1,000 extra gold, and then suddenly he snowballs. So you don't really have to go heavy into his lane early on. You can also try to farm it out for 10 minutes and then try the all-important kill. It's a little bit riskier though.
Yeah, I think we will definitely see a slow early game in terms of what the junglers are doing, but if Slay in particular steps a foot out of line, he dies. Yes, Set is a tankier support, but he dies very quickly to a hail of blades Draven. It is not tanky enough, particularly as he's not aftershock or anything like that. He is going the phase rush, which is standard, don't get me wrong, but it does not give any added tankiness. And look at that, they're already nearly through one tower plate. It's Glory in the mid lane, takes a bit of damage. They spot Levi, but it continues being a quiet one here on the Rift.
This has been a very interesting early pathing. So the Eagle ignored 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗀 and just went full cleared his jungle. He has 24 CS, is level 4, so he just got every camp on his side of the jungle. But while Levi got both of the 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗀s, so in the end both ended with level 4. Levi has a little bit of an lead in terms of pathing because his camps are still there. But Eagle might come out with a little bit of an experience advantage because his camps have reset levels. So once his camps are back up, he has a higher level to clear those. Or they are higher level and give more experience. So let's see if Eagle can make it work and get to level 6 faster. Of course, level 6 for Nidalee not that important, as we see Eagle be a little bit aggressive on Levi. He has reset, Levi has not, so that's definitely an advantage.
Big chunk on Slay.
Yeah.
That's very
Good
nice.
to see. Helps his bot lane. Bot lane already securing 2 plates at 4 minutes?
Draven, maybe.
Yeah, that's Caitlyn levels of domination. And of course, that's kind of expected. But I wanted also to come back to... Yeah?
I don't know. It's interesting because obviously, yes, Draven is an incredibly early dominant ADC due to how he works. But this is... I made the joke of, oh, it's Draven, of course. That was a joke. This is actually a real stomp down bot. This is a lot of push. And I feel like the set support wasn't great. Melee support into Draven, yeah, you have fun, dude. You're going to get axes whipped at you whenever you try and have any presence.
I still can see what GAM is doing with the bot lane. They are basically saying, okay, you can mine some gold off our turrets, but we will never die. Because Set and Ezreal are very safe.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad pick. It's just you are going to give away tower plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're ready for that, though. So we can already see Karl build up for Kiaya. Dia1 is farming a Storm. So I feel like they are preparing for mid-game to strike. They don't really want to make something happen early on. Eagle's dropping very low. He has Smite, though. He should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's also there with the Lantern. So actually had to call in assistance, which is always a little bit annoying. Jungler should be able to solo the dragon, but yeah, they had bot lane prior and mid lane prior as well, so nothing lost here.
Yeah.
Kiaya actually did something very, very smart early on in this game. We couldn't really talk about. He placed a ward. He used this pressure to place a ward at the enemy Crux and spotted out Eagle's pathing. This helped Levi get both of the 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗀s and give him enough time to farm up, because of course the AP, the Sylas jungle is not as fast in terms of farming as Eagle is on the Nidalee. So very good coverage from Kiaya and helped Levi scale into the mid game, where of course Sylas will overtake the Nidalee at some point.
Definitely in terms of damage at the very least. So something I want to comment on, and I know you're trying to advance things, but I'm just going to wind it back a little bit to just final point sort of on these drafts in particular the Draven pick. The big thing we've said about 𝗀𝗃 is so far this split, they've lived and died on their early game. They get off to a big lead, then yeah, they'll stomp you into the dirt. But if the early game doesn't go great, things get very weird. Well, they're not going to come out of this early game with a lead. They're very likely to come out at least even, or if not behind. Is this % just being huge brain and saying, well, we're just going to throw 𝗀𝗃 off their rhythm?
Something to think about, because % so far has been very bad in the early game, then super good in the late game. So maybe this is enough to give them time to scale into mid game and then make use of their very good team coordination and fight setup.
There's 𝗀𝗃 goes forward. He pops that cyclone, and can 𝗀𝗃 get away? He has to flash and ult, but does manage to get out of there as Levi was approaching. So the first gank is, I say it was a gank. It was mostly just 𝗀𝗃, but Levi was there. He's successful in getting summoners, but not the
sure
first
Levi
blood.
missed the ultimate. We have to go back to see, but I'm pretty sure Levi misplayed this pretty badly. But now we have a bot lane dive, and now
but here we go into 4-man. The teleport's coming in. Glory is going to be here. There's a hook, but it's cleansed. But it doesn't matter, as there it is. The kill comes in. Unfortunately, it goes to Eagle. I think they would have loved that on Big Coro, but it doesn't matter. First blood is first blood, and it's a third tower plate. % off to a fantastic start.
1 point, not even 900 gold ahead early on this game.
Is threatened.
Levi, they have full top control, but no ultimate for Levi or 𝗀𝗃, so they shouldn't have the damage to kill him here. 𝗬𝗃 zoned off his turret though, but with the wave approaching,
okay. 𝗬𝗃 doesn't do anything.
They have to be a little bit careful because they don't know where 𝗬𝗏 is. 𝗬𝗏 could be roaming into the top side. They don't have any vision, so 𝗬𝗃 under a little bit of invisible pressure from the mid lane, but once 𝗬𝗏 shows, but let's go back and look at the bot lane dive actually. And you have to be this is very unfortunate for Glory, because I think he doesn't even get an assist in, he just teleports down, doesn't get anything. At least he gets 53 gold from the third plate for his troubles.
But here we go, we're back to live. Lisa taking some damage, but he gets his little butt out of there. He's all right.
Died though.
Oh, Big Coro did die. Oh, wow, I am a blind boy. As Big Coro is dead, he's lost those League of Draven stacks. Ooh, dear, that's not good.
And the
How is that
too much happening.
Yep. Oh, no, 𝗀𝗃 is firing off, and it was just a face breaker into the suplex. Big Coro can't get out of this one. Son kills father. And let's have a look at what happens up in the top lane. 𝗀𝗃 goes forward onto 𝗬𝗃. And I think 𝗬𝗃.
What? Oh,
okay. He just turns it around with the cyclone. That's a lot of damage.
Well, 𝗀𝗃 knows this champion in and out. Well, I would not have thought he wins this at that point, but okay. 𝗀𝗃 knows his damage and gets another solo kill. 𝗀𝗃, the king of top lane, once again showing us, even in a counter matchup, he is just so much better than 𝗬𝗃. But the bot lane kill is really bad for %, because now all the adoration stacks are gone. They wanted to build up a big lead with the adoration stacks. Now Ezreal actually off to a very good start with the Mana Moon first, and we actually don't see Mana Moon for Big Coro, so behind an itemization, they get a lot of turret gold still, and might even get the first turret here. So that's still good news, but it's all shared. So Big Coro didn't get a single plate funneled into him.
Still 1,000 gold lead.
It's nice, but it could have been better, and all his adoration stacks are gone.
Oh no, 𝗬𝗃 could be in some trouble.
No cyclone
summoned up, and everyone is here. There is a Malphite ult. This needs to be played very well by 𝗀𝗃. And there's it is. And it wasn't played well. And 𝗬𝗃 spots his moment to go in and kill Levi. He's now got the other two to deal with. There's the suplex. 𝗀𝗃 dashing over. Is he tanky enough? He is, and he walks away. Malphite, he doesn't do anything, but he just killed you.
Turret, definitely the bigger component there, but wow, Levi just straight up dived into him with flash available and ultimate as well. Levi misplayed that big time. Also, Slay not able to land anything before Levi died, so Not the
I
greatest
don't
type. I think that's another one for your compilation.
Like, don't leak things. That hasn't been announced. But here we go. Let's have a look at the replay. I don't think Levi can steal ult here. He doesn't have the cooldown.
Yeah, maybe not. But he takes turret aggro here, and that was just very foolish. They,
Mhm.
Yeah, there was a little bit of unfamiliarity with Malphite because that was so obvious that Malphite would just ult there. As soon as he sees turret aggro, he can use ultimate to stall the turret, deal a little bit of damage. Actually, a fair amount of damage. The early ultimate.
I'll give a free tip to the content creators of our community. If you want a good meme, take that dive. And as the Malphite ult starts, put the Titanic theme of the guy playing it on the recorder. Just put that in there. It's a great meme. Free tip from everyday to you. It's very good. Just slow it right down. So we see Levi getting bopped up. I expect that in the Discord by the time this game's end. But let's get back on track.
Yeah, now look at the scoreboard at the top. 1k gold lead per percent. Even though they lost all the iteration stacks, they still got the turret gold. They still got a lot of gold funneled into 𝗵𝗂𝗃. And 2-for-2 in kills with the failed dive in the top lane. They didn't even give up the turret in the top lane either. So we were able to defend a lot of gold. Have the first 2 dragons, because Eagle very smartly adapted to the top lane pressure and just took the second dragon. So now it's actually looking very strong and one of Percent's best early games so far in the whole season. Maybe even the best. A very promising start.
I think it is the best, yeah.
GAM needs to find something to accelerate this game.
And it's against the early game Titans as well, right? Like,
absolutely.
Percent showing an early game like this against GAM is super impressive. This Draven, lost the adoration stacks because of the death, but does still manage to keep going. He has the Mana Moon now, so we are seeing the huge damage build for Draven. It's actually absurd how much damage Draven can do with a Mana Moon, just because he presses W after every auto attack.
It's quite ridiculous. And Mana Moon has gotten a little bit of a renaissance. A lot of people recognize that the item is super strong, can give you up to 90 AD. If you build more mana, you can actually go up to over 100 for 2,400 gold. So it's a very, very valuable item. Plus the super strong passive on it. So I think it's even gold efficient just from the AD, but it gives you the strong single target extra damage as well. So a very good item for all the champs that just need pure AD, and Draven is the #1 champ for just pure AD. Crit doesn't scale with his Q, so crit is still nice. It still deals normal crit damage. It's not like crit gets worse on Draven, but it doesn't really synergize too well with this kit, because of course you don't get the extra crit damage on your Q multiplicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Levi just takes that top scuttle. He continues to keep up in farm with Eagle, which is very good for this Sylas, not too far behind than Italy. As Easy Love and Slay have moved to the mid lane, they get away from the bad matchup down on the bot side. But that bot side is relentless. Big Koro does not want to stop.
But let's check in with the items for GAM, because GAM want to stop this bleeding and want to strike now. They have one item on Jace. He's quite strong on the first lethality item. And more importantly, Kiai has finished his Trinity Force. So there's a lot of dive potential on 𝗵𝗂𝗃. 𝗵𝗂𝗃 has a lot of AD, but his defensive stats are not there. So we should be able to see a good dive into the backline, especially if GAM is able to create a vision advantage, which currently is definitely on the 4%. As you can see, all the wards in the bot side jungle. Percent has so many wards down here, so they can see everything.
Like, they just took an inner for nothing.
There's nothing the enemy team can do. Yeah, it's just too much pressure. Makes a lot of sense actually for GAM to give up this inner turret, because now Draven struggles to really find a new home. You don't really want to send Draven into the top lane, because you want to continue Dragon Snowball, and bot lane is too far to push for inhibitor turrets. So even though bleeding more gold is definitely not a good thing for GAM, it's not that bad to lose the inner turret, because now Draven has to overextend if he ever wants to apply map pressure again.
Very true, but it's barely an overextension with all of the vision that Percent have.
Oh, the teleport.
YT Gets his ult stolen. There is
Teleport. Look at 𝗀𝗏𝗏.
teleports. Oh, wow. 𝗀𝗏𝗏 is deep. But in goes the slam. Eagle's gone gold. They're trying to buy time. Slay very low. Eagle getting away, but it's not enough. But there's a lot of damage coming out of 𝗀𝗏𝗏. Can they find Levi? They absolutely can. And it's percent with the health bar lead. Do they continue to fight? Not right now. As they'll just move over to the dragon and say no junglers for either team, which means we have control.
Can 𝗬𝗏 steal this one away with a shock blast? There is potential. He doesn't have vision, but he has this new blast cone. So now this should be an easy steal. Yep, there we go.
Oh, okay, dear. That's a big deal. That stops the dragon snowball dead in its tracks. A bit of a mistake there by percent.
It's almost last hope here for 𝗬𝗏. He had to steal that. The Dragon Snowball looked very dangerous, and it's already a gold lead and a very strong 5v5 team composition for percent. So very good for 𝗬𝗏 to stop the snowball, to stop the bleeding, and give GAM a little bit more time. But how does this fight start? Levi steals the Malphite ultimate. I was so focused on the TP that I didn't actually see the catch initially on Slay. Eagle just with a very strong stopwatch and able to get... he dies, of course, but 𝗀𝗏𝗏 from the side. This was the TP I was focused on. Gets the flank on Levi. In the end, it's just a 1-for-1. So actually, in terms of kills, didn't really do much. But of course, percent won the fight in terms of HP bars and still lose the dragon. So net positive, honestly, for GAM.
Absolutely. Stopping the dragon snowball is very, very important. It's a cloud soul, so maybe not a game-winning soul, but there are a lot of very good ultimates here for percent that you don't want getting reduced cooldowns.
Yeah, it's one of the worst Cloud Soul teams, though, to be honest. There isn't really a champ that wants the movement speed after ultimate activation. Draven, maybe, but you don't really use your ultimate early on in the fight to catch up.
So. 𝗀𝗏𝗏 goes in. They want easy love, and I got very hyped for a cleanse.
Cleanse flash. So still a good play. They blow both of the summoner spells. So now easy love has to be way more careful. Can we see GAM with a re-engage? They are very antsy. They want this.
There's the suplex. Slay might have gone a little bit too deep. The shield was big, but not big enough. The stolen Lissandra ult is used, but the Lantern will get the Malphite out. A good flay on 𝗬𝗏. Make sure he gets nothing done. And it's just an easy free kill here for percent.
And Slay changing his name to Hylissang. That was such a weird play. Why? Why did he go so deep? They still have pressure in the mid lane with the second result, but can we see another kill over the top side?
No, I don't think so. 𝗀𝗏 bugs it out of there.
Hard to catch.
Yeah, he is incredibly hard to catch. And YT is getting to the point where it's not super easy for this Wukong to just solo him out. He has a lot of armor. He survives for a very long time, though it's unlikely he actually wins the fight in the end. So.
𝗀𝗏 is not sitting on any sustain, so it's actually possible for YT to win. The armor total right now is 380 for YT, so 𝗀𝗏 is barely dealing any damage to him. There's always a point in the game against AD opponents for Malphite where the enemy just can't deal any damage to you anymore, especially if you go Bramble Vest first item, which he did in this game. So top lane is actually a little bit of a strong side now for percent, and overall they're still 2k gold up. Their Draven is now sitting on sustain and extra damage, as well as a little bit of added tankiness with Ninja Tabi. So he is hard to kill. They have decent peel, not great peel, but decent peel for him as well. I feel like I would favor percent in the next few team fights, just from raw stats.
I think something else to keep in mind is that the Sylas was picked as sort of we need AP, there's a Malphite, we really, really need AP, but Levi is not off to a good start. He's stolen 2 Malphite ults and hit a grand total of 0 people. He's 0-2-1. He's starting to fall further behind in farm to the Nidalee. This Sylas needs to be relevant, or YT is just going to be a brick wall.
He already is very close to being a very brick wall.
Yeah, but at least Sylas is a sledgehammer or something. I don't know, give me an analogy. But at the moment, he's looking a little bit like a rubber hammer.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Honestly, the good thing about Malphite's extra armor is that you don't need to build more than one armor item to be super tanky.
Easy Love has been found, and Glory went so deep to make that happen, and Eagle landed the spear, and that is the ADC from GAM dead. The lead continues to grow, but of course, 𝗬𝗏 will get something back for his team. He always does.
Sadly, I'm not able to watch right now as my computer does not want to show me YouTube. So what happened there?
Easy Love got caught, but 𝗬𝗏 was in the side lane and took the inner tower in the bot lane. But the moment we do just see the continued farm. There's not really any objectives. The Cloud Drake has spawned. 𝗚 has men in the area. They need to get better vision control over the red quadrant of GAM's jungle, but they are just going to start this dragon up. Yeah, GAM can give this one up. Of course, it's not Soul anymore. They did steal away the third one. And there it is. The dragon secured. Soul point now for 𝗚. They need one more for the Cloud Soul. Ooh, a hook has landed.
It now becomes does 𝗚 do anything with the Cloud Soul point where they want to maybe trade or bait the enemy team into contesting and then go for Baron? Said before, I don't actually think it's that great a soul for the side of 𝗚. They don't really profit from the extra movement speed too much. Draven is the only one who's really happy about the ultimate movement speed. Everyone likes 10% movement speed, of course. But yeah.
I think the general speeding up your rotations and stuff is always really valuable. I think that gets undersold when people talk about Cloud Soul.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of Cloud Soul most of the time, but in this game, I actually think it's not that great a soul. For 𝗚, it's a little bit better, especially for people like Slay and Levi. Levi especially likes Cloud Soul a lot. But
yeah,
this might not be the end of the game if they get the Cloud Soul, which is unusual because usually the Soul means you have won the game. So 𝗚 might have to stall or might have to fight a little bit longer. I'm very interested to see what Big Crow is going for with this itemization. He is now building lethality. And he has a lot of raw AD, so lethality makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you building third, I suppose? What?
Okay, I seem to be ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh. You might have to pause a little bit because I haven't seen anything happen. Levi ulting away. Eagle chasing in. Whoa! Eagle so deep. The Eagle has certainly landed, but he manages to get out with a helpful lantern. No, I tell a lie. 𝗂𝗃 comes in and cyclones him to death. It was actually Slay picking up the kill off the back of 𝗂𝗃's damage. And Eagle way too overeager there.
I think people are getting bored with this game. It's so slow. It's not VCS style, so they want to get the kills. They want to go for the plays, but in the end, most of the aggressive plays have actually backfired. First in mid lane when GAM tried to go for something there, and now Eagle way overchased Levi in the jungle. So not the greatest aggressive plays so far, and the game is still on a nice edge. I'd say GAM still has very good chances of winning this game, even though Draven is looking scary.
It's only 2k gold, and there's not much to review here. This was just way out of position. He nearly gets away, but of course,
they got 𝗂𝗃's flash. That is honestly not the worst thing to happen. But now look at the Baron. Way more important. Baron started.
Great to Baron. GAM will arrive in time to contest. Slay running in. The hook does not land.
Oh.
Slay does. There's the teleport. Glory throws out the E. Doesn't get it. It's very, very low. There it is. Secured for 𝗚. And now they just need to disengage. And I think they're going to manage to do it. I don't think GAM can stop them. And it's a free Baron. 𝗚. Decisive calls paying off once more. Decisive casting, really not. But decisive calls.
But Levi so indecisive there to see the other side of the coin where he was close enough. He had flash available. He is a very mobile champion with E, of course. And he didn't even try to go for the steal, even though it's a 5-man Baron on the other side if you don't go for the steal. So I feel like Levi, with a very, very big lapse of judgment, he should have even sacrificed himself for the Baron steal if he could. He was levels down to Eagle, and Eagle has a little bit of execute damage, so it's not a very likely steal. But in the end, you're still Levi. You're still supposed to land the smites, and I'm very surprised he didn't even try. He had Zhonya's too, so a lot of time to stall the team fight. So just very surprising to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's surprising, but they are continuing. 𝗬𝗏 now, the target. There's the Banshee's pop. They've flashed forward. They've used ults on it. He was way too far forward, and YT is now a 3-1 rock boy. As they push towards the base, they've got Baron. There's two of them here. And oh, look at the mid lane. Lisa's found Levi. We need to have a look mid. Oh, I think he's managed to get away. So the observers were right. I was wrong.
Yeah, Levi had to flash, but he's still alive.
It
won't change much about the situation overall, because Percent is just breaking the inhibitor. No time wasted for them. And now the dragon is spawning in 18 seconds, so free soul on the way out. They might actually use the time to pressure in mid lane as well. Let's see what they opt to go for. Okay, they are playing it a little bit more safe. Go for dragon, into reset, and defend top lane, which is fine. I feel like that's an okay call to make. Could have pressured mid lane maybe a little bit more. But with DR1 respawning, that makes a lot of sense. I, once again, am very positively surprised by, or not actually surprised, but I like to watch Percent in the mid and late game where they really shine. The early game is a little bit of a problem still, but their late game coordination and calls are just crisp and especially decisive.
Yeah, decisive is the word I want to emphasize. Percent, I don't know who their shot caller is, but whoever it is respected. They're saying, we're doing this, and you can see immediately the entire team responds. You love to see it, for sure. GAM, not really knowing how to keep themselves in this one. We obviously have Kiaya still with massive side lane pressure. He's taken another tower in the top lane. But they haven't been able to make any mark on this game. It's a low kill game. There's only been 10 kills. 6 of which are Percent. GAM with 4 kills at 28 minutes. Do they even know what game it is anymore?
Yeah, even the game they got stomped against EVOS, they had 1 more kill. So it's a very, very strange look for GAM. I feel like we're missing a lot of the early aggressive plays. They didn't go for top lane dives, which is usually their bread and butter, at least in the spring it was, where GAM rotates top jungle and mid laner into the top lane, goes for an early dive. Maybe they were deterred by the fact that the enemy had a Malphite, and we saw how the Malphite dive was going later. But early on, he's diveable. He even got solo killed by Kiaya, so I feel like GAM has just been misreading their team composition and what to do in the early game, and now they are just not good enough to stand up to Percent's late game macro and coordination. So I feel like this game is very close to over, even though we are only looking at a sub 3k gold difference. I haven't seen much life out of GAM in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it as you said, the gold lead is close, but the mental lead seems to be much, much broader. Percent with the game plan, knowing exactly what to do. And Big Coro's Draven looking very scary. Something to consider in drafts. Levi gets hooked. They throw the whirling death, but don't commit anything.
It's actually a Draven with 300 farm.
He hasn't needed to.
He only died once in the early game. If he can cash in now, what do you think is the goal total he gets? I think it's something like 1.5k.
I think it'll be 552 stacks, 54 now. I think that's just my read. It's not on screen.
57 now.
Yep, as Slay has been a bit caught out. Levi finally hits some people with a stolen ult, and this could be the turnaround. Big Coro needs to find a way to get some auto attacks. They're just disengaging at the moment. The Draven's winding up. They're trying to get it done. Slay goes in. He needs to get it done, and now he's just got 4 people pushing in on him. And just as we praise Percent, they overstay just a little bit, but DR1 got a bit cocky, and they get something back. It's a 3-for-1. Not great. Eagle. Oh, no, Eagle. No, you can't do this. Okay.
And 𝗬𝗏 misses the very crucial cue to not get the chase in Eagle. Eagle gets away. It's a 1-4-4 for 3. So GAM with a little bit of a sign of life after I just said I haven't seen much life. So good to see. It's 7-7 kills now, so it's actually quite even in that regard. They are still at a severe disadvantage, but 𝗬𝗏 is scaling up, and we saw some of the struggles of Draven in team fights. He's not the most natural team fighter in terms of ADCs. He really wants to start the team fight with a pick and some massive Q damage. If he has to fight and run away, it's not really his wheelhouse. He doesn't really do that too well, as you can see here. He's just running away, not a single auto attack. There is one, there's another one, there's a third one, and now he has to run away. So 3 auto attacks so far. He runs away from Levi, lands another one here, lands another one there. No damage, actually.
I actually think he did okay. He didn't have any Qs when he was getting those autos. He had to drop the axes. I don't think focusing on Big Koro is entirely fair there. I know we like to point out our auto attack counting. It was more Levi hitting the big Malphite at all. That was it.
Yes, I agree. Big Koro didn't really misplay, but it's more focus on
Tier
Draven.
1 takes a lot and boom! YT wants to show that he can Malphite ult too. As he goes in, gets 1. Big Koro's got 2. Can he find more? I think he will be able to, as he's got 𝗂𝗽 going gold in the backside. But there it is. That's the triple kill. And Draven is here to party as they push down the mid lane. And GAM, they had a sign of life. And 𝗚𝗏 pushed the pillow right back on their face as they look to push in. They might be able to win the game here.
Yeah, 𝗀𝗏 getting ready to
minion
teleport into the base to tank the minions. So where does it? Yep,
there it is. Absolutely, they're bursting the tower. Slay's in the mid. He's trying to get it done. YT's a little bit low, but Slay is dead. The towers are gone. And 𝗚𝗏, once they kill 𝗚𝗏𝗏, they take down the Nexus. And the new kids on the block are taking it to the Kings of Vietnam.
How are you ever supposed to do a prediction in this league? It's absolutely ridiculous. Now 𝗚𝗏 just comes in and honestly looks very dominant against GAM out of nowhere. After getting stomped yesterday in 2 games against Saigon Buffalo, I have no idea how I'm supposed to do any predictions for this league anymore every day. It's impossible. But it's a very good showing for our new team, and we also saw how Draven works in teamfights where his team sets him up. Suddenly, he can come from behind, he can get the Qs ready, and he'll dish out so much more damage than when he has to run away and can't focus on picking up the X's. Impressive.
Absolutely. So, welcome back, our resident 𝗚𝗏 stan. You had a rough night last night, but you've started this one out a little bit better, my friend. What was your impression of game 1, Vinny?
I don't know what team that was. Because 𝗀𝗏 didn't do much. And the rest of the team sort of carried him. So that's clearly not 𝗚𝗏. I mean, yeah, he didn't do bad, but yeah, no.
Yeah,
so
you're not wrong there.
YT on a tank turns out on not on apparently works. Turns out if you can just press R, he can press R. No, seriously. YT showed up a lot better than yesterday.
Yeah.
I think
YT carried those team fights.
I think you look at 𝗚𝗏𝗏. You're asking who's the shot caller, and you look how much cleaner they looked with 𝗚𝗏𝗏. I think 𝗚𝗏𝗏 is playing a huge part in the sort of
That's probably true.
macro decisions
Very
of the
fair
team.
point.
But overall, and Lisa's level of play from the last time we saw his Thresh, much better. So overall, 𝗚𝗏 seems to have stepped up, especially from what we saw yesterday. But if they can keep their early games going like this, they could beat GAM pretty, and that's kind of weird.
It is.
That's
It is
kind of
indeed.
weird.
Pretty insane. So, we need a player of the match, an
But sure,
MVP.
YT for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking YT as well. The Malphite.
YT won
doesn't
every
do
single
anything.
team fight, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Pretty
just about.
much. Well, he certainly did something this game. The Malphite just killed us. But with
Such
that,
a smart
we'll be
pick
going-
as well. Just the last comment. Such a
No, go
smart
ahead.
pick into 𝗂𝗽. Just neutralize 𝗂𝗽. He even gave up a solo kill. Whatever. 𝗂𝗽 can't snowball. You know 𝗂𝗽 is much better in mechanics. But you just pick Malphite. You just sit in the top lane. You just team fight, and 𝗂𝗽 is kind of a non-factor then. So
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think we
with-
might see a Malphite ban of all things.
That would be pretty insane. But with that, we will go to a little break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes to bring you game 2 of 𝗚𝗏 taking on GAM. Will 𝗚𝗏 close it out, or will GAM fire back and take us to a game 3? Don't go anywhere, guys. We want to find out just as much as you do. So see you in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody, for game 2 of 𝗚𝗏 taking on GAM. It was a big performance out of 𝗚𝗏 in game 1. Now tell me, boys, can GAM fire back, or is this going to be 𝗚𝗏?
I mean, it's GAM. Of course they can fire back.
Yeah.
It's GAM.
So far, they haven't lost the first game ever in series in this split, at least. So I'm a little worried. They looked kind of out of sorts. I'm quite surprised at their performance. They looked a little bit lifeless, especially the top side, especially jungle mid lane, I feel. Bot lane was expected to lose in this composition, but jungle mid was very invisible.
Yeah, I think that can be avoided. They can get around that by just prioritizing a bit of a better jungler, a jungler with more early impact than what Silas has.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we move away from this Jace pick. I mean, Dia's been
Unlikely,
fine
though.
on it individually, but I think compositionally it doesn't really add too much
I agree.
to support the team. And yeah, I think we need just a bit more, I don't know, AoE sort of team fighting damage coming out of the mid lane. Put AP on.
What do you think, 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃?
So,
I don't know. What other noises do the Teletubbies make? I think moving away from the Jace for Dia 1 makes sense. They seem pigeonholed into having to play AP jungles because Dia 1 is playing Jace every game. And 𝗀𝗃𝗃 typically doesn't play AP champs. He's very much an AD. He's looking so good on bruises and stuff. Why would you want to switch it around? But we are heading into Champ Select, so they will soon answer the question for us. What will 𝗚𝗏 do? Do they have another crazy comp cooked up? Or will they go back to standard and just beat GAM on their own terms?
𝗚𝗏 has some very strange bans to me. Why are they banning Senna? Senna is their champion. Senna is not that high priority for other teams. I'm super weirded out by 𝗚𝗏 banning Senna 2 times now on blue side. Doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, it must be that they're just really not comfortable into that sort of style of bot lane, because they really didn't want SGB getting their hand on it, and they're banning it now against GAM. And the Karma blue side ban is still happening. And I think this actually hurts GAM quite a bit, because I don't know, Diaz seems to be playing. Yeah, he's basically only really played Jace and Karma. And we see the Ezreal ban as well, so that's. Oh, and so that opens up the 𝗃𝗏𝗏 with that Draven ban coming through. Which is quite interesting. I don't think the Draven ban was super necessary.
I feel like Draven was really not likely to be picked here. I think Draven was a direct answer into Ezreal, something they have prepared on red side. I think this is very much an overreaction we see from time to time in pro play, especially with new coaching staff. Because of course GAM has wiped out all their old coaching staff.
Draven ban?
But yeah, the Draven ban is strange. I feel like that is a misread and a little bit of an overreaction. But of course opens up 𝗃𝗏𝗏 now for %, and GAM has to come up with a different ADC. 𝗃𝗏𝗏 is open, and 𝗃𝗏𝗏 is very likely to be picked up.
Yeah, and with the Thresh takeaway, that also takes one of the best defensive options for the Thresh. Oh, it's not Thresh. 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, it's the best pairing in my opinion. Just straight up the best pairing for 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏. In pro play at least. I think in solo queue it's probably Lulu. But, yeah.
So now 𝗚𝗏. Oh, now we can get to see Lisa's Bard, which can absolutely carry that. Oh, that's a really good second rotation from 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Oh, wow. 𝗚𝗏 is looking good.
Lisa and Gloria are on some of their best champs. Big Car is on 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏. That's a very good. They looked at yesterday and went, "What happened with our draft?" And now they're drafting really well.
Yeah,
I actually like both drafts so far. Very early game focused for GAM, very % champion comfort champions for 𝗚𝗏. So this should be a high level game for both teams because both know how to play these champs. And this might still be a Renekton flex. We haven't seen much Renekton mid lane, but I can see it being picked into Glory's Zoe. I think that's actually an option here. Might even send 𝗀𝗃𝗃 mid lane again, because he of course was a mid laner for one season, even won the title as a mid laner, so he played a lot of Renekton mid lane. Renekton mid lane into Zoe, it's not the best matchup for Renekton in a 1v1, but very good gank setup, and he can punish the Zoe over and over again with point-and-click CC.
I mean,
100%. Both drafts look good so far. Honestly.
even though I just said maybe we don't look to go towards the Jace pick, maybe now you do into the Zoe, so you can sort of match that lane sort of poke pressure. And
Forces Levi on AP jungle again, though.
yeah,
Really bad.
But he's very good at AP junglers usually, so I wouldn't mind that too much.
I
Oh
don't mind
no,
that,
I
just
don't
not
like
the
this.
Silas. Yeah, this is not a great matchup.
Yeah, 𝗬𝗏 has looked quite bad on this TF. It's one of his worst champs in professional play so far, in my opinion. Especially in the 𝗚𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 Cup, he played TF and went 0-5-4 or something. Ridiculously bad score line.
Yeah.
One of his only games in professional play on GAM, where he had a negative KDA or sub 1 KDA. So really not the biggest fan of 𝗬𝗏 TF.
Oh,
Are we getting the Chog champ? Are we honoring Jensen? No, but we're getting the volley there.
Awesome.
Even
I'm not
better.
playing it. I'm happy with either of those, as we have the Freljord combo up in the top in the jungle, Trundle and Volibear, a fearsome duo.
Does Bear win against Crocodile? I have no idea.
Volibear statistically has no losing matchup.
Statistically. Oh,
I call
Will we see this cock play?
Ooh, Kane!
I think this is not a
Good
good
block. That's a whoa! This is crazy. Something's going on. Why have they gone Kane?
This is so dangerous for GAM.
Not a great pick. I would have. No, I think just an ordinary like Lee Sin would have been better. Just something basic.
Gragas? He's a very good
Some more
Gragas
CC,
player.
Some frontline. Yeah,
Would have
Gragas.
I think Gragas would have been perfect here for GAM's comp. A little bit more AP damage to have a mixed damage profile for top side. Works well with TF, double stun. Works very well with the bot lane as well, a lot of CC. Would have liked Gragas. Instead they go Kane, and this is something Levi has done from time to time. Go to some more niche champs and experiment a little bit, but they are 0-1 down, and Kane can be utterly useless if he falls behind, so not the biggest fan. Very strange.
We haven't really seen Kane in the VCS, but when we have seen him in other regions, he's been
Oh,
garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, like people would be like, 𝗀𝗃𝗃, one of the best junglers in the world. Yeah, that he's not. That Kane did nothing. That Kane did nothing.
29-minute transformation, I think, was for 𝗀𝗃𝗃, right?
No,
I
the
think-
28-minute was Spicker.
Oh, yeah. All the
Speaker.
Kanes actually failed big time.
It is very weird, particularly with GAM. Because the big thing with Kane is he is active early. Yes, but you don't actually get kills from your early.
Yeah, no,
You
you
don't do
lose,
it.
but you're active.
Yeah, but GAM is an early game team. They want their lead in the early game, but it's going to have to be something we talk about during the game. Vinny, what are your final impressions and who is going to win? Are we going to game 3?
GAM can always potentially just outplay their opponents, but
Production,
I think
turn the
those-
music off.
I think those. Ends again.
Fair enough. There we go. Vinny's made the call. He was right in game 1. Will he be right in game 2? We'll have to find out. Won't we, Yulwei?
Yeah. This is a very exciting draft, especially for Levi. Look at his rune choice as well. Dark Harvest?
He might be going
He's
blue.
going to go Assassin. This is Assassin Kane,
He-
right? You don't go Dark
Assassin
Harvest.
No, you go Conqueror. When
Yeah.
you go Wrath, this is insane. Going blue, it's just to kill Aphelios.
Into
Aphelios can't get away. Aphelios can't get away from Blue Kane.
I feel like it's
but-
very bad into Bard though. Bard has so much CC
Yeah.
and slow.
This is
It's
insane
fascinating.
out of Levi. This is some dark technology.
It's very questionable. And also, if he wants to go blue, he has to hit range temps, right? So he can't really go
Yes.
for top side skirmishes, and top side skirmishes are basically the identity for GAM for a whole year now. So very
It
weird.
is. So we will point out, of course, we are seeing Levi did come in and get a buff steal. I think it will be equalized by Eagle, so no big deal. Yeah, he's already heading in. He'll get spotted, but I don't think it'll be contested. Wait a minute. Both junglers in the mid line. Levi wants to contest this. Does he
Trundle
win
should
at
win
level
this, though,
2 against
Levi,
Trundle?
right?
Eagle has no idea that he's on a ward. He's charging forward. I think so. It's a level 2 Kayn. It doesn't do anything.
He gets all of
He
his,
is just going to bonk him away. Doesn't
got-
have an active rune either.
He got
so-
every single of the small raptors, though.
Wow, Eagle just got wrecked.
Yeah, Eagle missing out big time there on the jungle camp. I think that's due to the fact that Levi went for Talisman instead of Machete, so he actually had the overtime damage from Talisman and got all the small raptors at the start from the ticking damage, while Eagle, of course, only a single target damage on the Machete. So very, very bad start for Eagle, who should have won the level 2 against level 2 trade, but now there's a grab.
Ooh, Lisa gets ignited, but it's instantly met with a stun. Big Koro trading back well. And we've got something else to point out. It's an Omnistone Bard.
Omnistone Bard is not too unusual.
It's not. It's still interesting.
Yeah, it's good to track. He had the Dark Harvest there, was very close to triggering Dark Harvest, and this would be very strong for Omnistone, because, of course, Dark Harvest strengthens all your other keystones. So he was very close to getting off to a great start on Bard, but I think he failed to trigger it on the trade. So
I think so.
only barely. They also blew 2 summoner spells, so now there's a good opportunity to go for a bot lane play. And of course, Levi, no real CC on the Kayn, but
Eagle
he wants
moving
the
in onto _𝗀𝗃, just interrupts
Stop
the
back.
recall. Do they commit to the dive? The Stormbringer is used. In they go. The
flashed
stun
away.
landed, and he gets ripped up. And it doesn't matter. YT takes a lot of damage from the tower, but it doesn't matter as the croc is dead and the bear has had some dinner.
And what a start! Are we sure we're watching the teams not the other way around? This is such a GAM play. This is this is just ripped from GAM's playbook. Just go early for a dive in the top lane and bring your top lane ahead. Perfect start for YT, and this matchup is probably very much focused on who gets the early advantage. I feel like Volibear just straight up wins 1v1s now against 𝗀𝗃 on the Renekton.
Oh yeah, Volibear absolutely wins 1v1s. Maybe particularly now, I almost would have thought he won them anyway.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It's a little bit ridiculous. I'm not sure on that. I haven't played enough of the Volibear, and I don't play it as well as YT or 𝗀𝗃 does, regardless. As Levi continues to farm, he is 2 levels ahead of Eagle at the moment.
He is farming.
Smurfing.
Absolutely.
They are trying to steal a buff away. He's coming through the wall, and he gets the blue. Can they stop him? If he goes down here, it's very bad. The lantern's there, and he gets away. Eagle can't chase on, and Levi, the absolute jungle master.
Well, he didn't get the blue. Eagle actually
didn't.
stole away the blue with the smite there, so close. But Levi doesn't even have to flash, so he's still set up to do something level 6. Level 6, even the base Kayn can do a lot of damage, so I hope he will go for an early play there. The problem now for GAM's team composition and the Kayn is Kayn really does not want to go into YT in the top lane. He wants to fight against range champs, because he wants to go for the blue form, for the assassin form.
We are assuming.
It would be crazy to see Dark Harvest red form, but yeah, we can't be sure, of course. But it would be very strange. But this means YT is now isolated with 𝗀𝗃, and YT should win all the trades. He's still behind in farm. 𝗀𝗃 has actually managed to zone him off some creeps here and there, so still very good laning play for 𝗀𝗃. But no flash on either side, so this is a very volatile lane. And if 𝗀𝗃 overstays, he might just be picked on with a lot of CC from Eagle, Glory, and YT.
Yeah, it's very possible. As speaking of Glory, it is he's of course someone to watch for percent. But he's Zoe as well. Now, Zoe has a bit of a storied history in the VCS. He's a fantastic pick for Glory, though. So how can this Zoe potentially impact the game? Is this just going to be a farm fest for the mid laners?
TP now, so she's set up to follow Dia1 around the map. Dia1, of course, on TF, now level 6. Will look for his first ever play, and we see the setup for the bot lane dive. They circumvented all the vision here. So that's a very good play, but now Slay in vision, so they might sniff this out. And of course, Lowy's TP is available. So we see TF moving down, but this is a very hard dive to make work. So seems like they are calling off the play, and percent so far stays alive in the bot lane.
That they do, but it is more tower plates going down. This Kalista, of course, very, very strong, particularly with a Thresh in their back pocket. But Aphelios has already gone back and got himself a BF sword. So BF sword to full boots. It is, of course, full boots on a Kalista. Who wins trades at the moment? Probably still Kalista because of Rend.
Likely. It depends on how Aphelios places. The longer the trade, the better actually for Aphelios, because Kalista wants to burst trade him down. Usually Kalista is good in long trades, but she basically wants to go 3 hits into Rend, into disengage, and do that again. If Aphelios is able to lock her down with Gravitum and stuff, he might be able to out-trade her with pure damage, because the champ still deals insane amounts of damage. Now Eagle positions the Herald very deep into the river. They have 2 pink wards, and the top pink ward shouldn't be able to see this. So this is to prevent enemy team from seeing the Herald being done when they ward into the pit. It's quite a smart move, but Levi is here. Levi wants to contest this. He's too late.
Oh, I think you're out of sync because, I think I'm ahead. What's your timestamp? And could production say there's
14.3?
Oh, okay. I'm like a second ahead of you at the moment. Production, what's your timestamp? Okay, I'm a little bit ahead. We are going to have to quickly resync. Apologies. I'm gonna pause at 9 minutes dead on.
58, 59, 9.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
we're back in sync. Sorry about that, everyone. I somehow got a little bit ahead, and it's never good to be out of sync.
Just too excited today. Every day. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm just
the first gank. The first gank.
Full of. As percent is getting ganked, and oh, good God, everyone is here. It's a party in the bot lane. Big Koro trying to find his way out, but he won't. He'll go down first. Slay picking up the kill, and a big hook there onto Glory. He instantly cleanses it. Lisa goes down as well. It's 2 kills for GAM, and they'll get away scot-free. A well-executed play. It got a bit messy in the middle, but they got it done.
Absolutely everything invested from GAM. Look at the summoner spells available. Only Flash for Easy Love. Everything else was blown there. Of course, Smite as well. But that was well executed for GAM. Quite a risky play. If this play backfires, I think the game's just over. You give Aphelios kills, your Kayn doesn't get going. So this play had to happen for Kayn to get going. It's very risky, though. We see the engage. Bikor actually dodging very nicely around the play initially, but now he's in a very bad position. What can he do? He's just out of position. He can't get anywhere. And the grab on Lisa from Slay forces Glory to overextend, and also Bard to play a little bit defensively to protect his mid laner. And another kill goes over to them. No kill over to Kayn, though. So even though he collected some orbs, he's not quite snowballing. The super strong assassin Kayn is not here.
I'm so confused because he has a Tiamat. If you're hard committing to going blue, don't you just go lethality?
Usually you see lethality, yeah.
Yeah, so is he actually just going Dark Harvest Rast?
We'll have to wait and see. It's the big mystery of this game. I feel like Tiamat is just there to farm faster, probably, but Kayn usually doesn't have...
Kayn already farms fast. He does not need to be any fast.
Farming, that's fair. Strange one. We have to observe this Kayn more. Also, no jungle item finished. Interesting. Jungle item is so much value. I always like to see the jungle item early on because it's so stat efficient, but gold efficient. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, if he wants to power farm, he can absolutely do it and has been doing it as he is nearly 30 farm ahead of 𝗚𝗚𝗚, but 𝗚𝗚𝗚 will start up the dragon. YT
Why
is
is
here, the
YT
strong
here?
bear. I don't know, but he
When
is.
did he arrive?
He's just, bears, they like to go to the river. He's getting some salmon, and then he's TPing back up top to pick up his minions.
It's such a weird move. Okay, they
It was a
really
big
wanted
day
to.
out.
They really wanted to hard commit for the Dragon Snowball because they know they are behind in gold. So wanting to prolong the game and don't give GAM the opening for another win condition on the Dragon Snowball. Not a bad move. I actually quite like it in hindsight. It was very risky though to waste this much time away from top lane. Opened up 𝗬𝗬𝗃 to get another turret plate as well. So 𝗬𝗬𝗃 actually now with a solid almost 20 CS lead in the top lane, even after getting dived early on in the game. So still showing us why he's considered the best top lane in the league.
Yeah, absolutely no doubt about that one. He is still a very, very good player. He is looking great here against this VCS, as it is a 2k gold lead for GAM here at about 13 minutes. Not the biggest lead we've seen GAM get, but certainly better than last game. And GAM look a lot less lost.
Yeah, this is more early game. I like their comp more. It fits the GAM style a little bit better, in my opinion. A lot of agency, a lot of single target CC to make plays happen. And Levi is just power farming, which is something that we haven't really seen him do too much in recent times. But think back to last summer split, where we were praising him and we were basically just singing his praises every single broadcast because we were so astonished by his ability to get ahead in the jungle on 𝗬𝗲𝗄, on 𝗚𝗏𝗏, on stuff like that. So it's good to see his pathing ability still be there, especially against someone like 𝗚𝗚𝗚, who's more team focused, more team getting his team ahead and shot calling. So can Levi make it work? He's 30 CS ahead. He should be close to his transformation. I have no idea. We don't see the...
I don't think he'll be that close. He's only really been involved in the one skirmish, right?
You get more
two
orbs
skirmishes.
after... You get more orbs after a little bit of time. So if he goes for another skirmish soon, he should be able to get the transformation afterwards. And the mystery of his choice will finally be lifted or solved.
It's got to be. He's going blue smite. It has to be red, right? He's not going challenging.
His jungle item now, so no early lethality, bro.
Yeah, I guess you go warrior with both. It's got to be red. I think it has to be just Dark Harvest red, which is super weird.
It's extremely weird. Well,
surprised
I think
he didn't go Cinderhulk with how much he's wanted to farm.
That actually, I feel like...
Sorry, Razor, whatever it is.
I feel like that's the biggest problem with Kayn, by the way. Even though he's a very strong champion in in solo queue, the biggest problem is that you don't want the same masteries on the two different forms. So you kind of have to commit to either form before the game even starts and can't adjust your play in game. So we either see Levi adjusting his play here and going with a little bit of a worse mastery late game, or sticking to his plan and going assassin even though he hasn't gotten the first kill. So still very excited to see what he wants to go for and if this Kayn can work.
It definitely is. So chat, do spam which color you think Levi will be going. It should be revealed soon enough, red or blue. I want to see what chat thinks. As he's certainly still a mystery for us. I know I hope for blue because that it would be very exciting. Rast is a little bit boring. He's just a big tanky.
I'm not even sure if we have seen a single jungle blue Kayn ever in pro play in a good league.
Well,
I know we've Kayn.
You say in a good league.
Top 60. Let's say top 60.
Yes.
Probably happened something like OCE or something. So who knows?
Hey, we are like a top 15 league.
Yeah, indeed.
But moving swiftly on, it is still a mystery. He is not transformed yet. He's just back, so doesn't have the transformation ready.
So now let's look at the map. The next objective coming up is Infernal Drake in 30 seconds. We have a little bit of vision set up for percent, but nothing GAM can't overcome if they invest a little bit of time now. Pink wards only an inventory for Slay, so they don't really have the most amount of vision. Instead, Levi is just going to pressure with his Eye of the Herald, so surely will claim another turret, most likely. With Levi DR1 also pushing, utilizing his Sheen. So there we go, another turret falling, and now we look at an almost 4k gold advantage, 3 point something K.
Ooh, Twisted Fate ultimate. Just
Percent is
checking
to give up this dragon, so not the most.
TF ult out.
Makes sense. Makes sense. They got the first two, so they don't really have the pressure on their side to contest every dragon. It's never nice to give up the third one. You want to go to Soul Point, but I think this is a smart call where you just say, okay, we need more items. Biko is not even sitting on one item yet, so very bad time for us to fight, even though our Zoe is a strong point. We want more items, so give up one, maybe two, maybe even three dragons, and then reassess the situation and look if you can find a fight afterwards.
Yep. And tower in the top lane does fall. Big Coro picking up some gold. They're closing the gap a little bit, but it's still a long way to go for percent. Glory deals a fair bit of damage there, actually way more than I expected. Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe. Zoe is such a ridiculous champion. I don't really play mid lane often, but if I do, I instantly ban Zoe because I have no idea how to play against that champion. It tilts me.
Sure.
It tilts me too much. So much damage. So much damage.
Yeah. So checking back in with the jungle farm lead, something I'm just trying to keep track of. It has grown once again. It's now up to 40 CS. It's not going to get any better, of course. Eagle is going to be taking less and less farm as the game goes on, but Levi will obviously continue to take his camps. Has the Moby boots. Continues to be a mystery which color he'll be. I have to think it's blue.
Yeah,
I think it has to be blue, but I don't.
This definitely looks like a
Tiamat is still
lethality
weird.
coming in now. Yeah.
Yeah, with the double longswords, you're right.
Chat just said
Exciting.
Levi played that against IMT at Worlds 2017 and won. So I have to go back and watch that game because I did not remember that particular game. But
I don't remember much from
Levi.
2017. I barely remember December of last year. It feels like 2020 has been several decades.
I have a very good memory when it comes to League games, normally. Levi on another mission.
Here
this
he
is
comes.
Not the correct color for him.
No, it's not, but it is a lot of damage. And YT, he is still a big tanky bear, pops the Stormbringer, and he's okay.
After an exciting early game, YT has kind of not done anything though, right? He got the early kill and the dive, then fell behind against 𝗂𝗄𝗃. Oh, Zoe.
I mean, does YT need to do anything for now? He's a tank. He's just tanking.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like I expect more from Volibear, especially with an early lead. I expect him to dominate his lane. But right now, he's just there to collect some farm and tank. He will give up another turret. And this is good to see from GAM, adopting a little bit of the 1-3-1 playstyle. But there's a play in the top lane, though.
Oh, there absolutely is. And Glory absolutely explodes. YT's arrived. Does he want to go for the 1v2? He absolutely does. Levi goes inside him, doesn't get the heal because he's not transformed. Eagle is now here, flashing forward. It's a 3v2. As Slay is here, and Easy Love is coming. What percent? And Tier1 arrives as well. I couldn't even see the minimap in all the chaos. There it is. Can they get at least one kill? No, they get nothing, and YT goes down. Percent. They threw everything at the wall, and nothing stuck.
That is so bad for Percent. They overestimated their tankiness, and they also underestimated GAM's ability to move around the map. It will result in a 1-for-1 turret trade, so at least a little bit more gold into Big Coro, and he's getting closer to his team fighting power spike. So you might argue Percent actually did this to buy more time for Big Coro to funnel more gold into him, but it still backfired big time. Glory just blows up instantly. Very good start for 𝗂𝗄𝗃 to tank the turret. Levi gets donated the kill, which is nice for Assassin Kane. YT actually looks like he can do 1v2 here. Look at all the damage he deals. Levi is not doing anything to him. 𝗂𝗄𝗃 can't really approach him either. But here they missed the opportunity to get the kill on Levi because he just lanterns out, and now everyone is here. Too many threats. Eagle calls this play off and says, okay, you're on your own. Try to get the kill. Sadly, YT's not able to, and in the end, it's a 2-4-0 in the top lane and a 4k gold lead afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think YT could have 1v2'd, but it wasn't a 1v2 for very long. It turned into a 2v5 very, very fast. Now, Big Coro, he needs to run. Levi throws the W out through the wall, but they don't want to chase into an 𝗃𝗃's turret. Can't say I blame them. The rest of percent coming to reinforce. Tempered Fate gets thrown out, but Levi once again turns on the wall hacks. And out he goes.
Is he evolved
Dragon.
now?
No, he's not. You can look at the map.
He's so fast. I think he evolved, right? I'm not sure.
Is he? I'll have to have a look. As there it is. He's coming out, and he's taking a lot of damage, flashing away. Yeah, and this is going very badly here for GAM. They've lost 2. Tier 1 off on the side. A good bubble out of Glory, as always. But it is a lot of damage being blocked by Slay. Eagle goes down. I think he might have just danced a bit too far forward. Yeah. But still, a big fight win for percent. They get the turret. Can they turn on the dragon? I think they can.
They can. It's a little bit risky without Eagle, of course. No smite, but they should still be able to do... Glory might even be able to change to smite with his spellbook. No, he's not going for it. This is still an uncontested dragon. Now they are on soul point. They are still behind in gold, but it's still not looking too bad for percent. The soul point should give them enough. And Levi not doing much. This might be the suicide play you always go for on Kayn to get your last few orbs. And maybe GAM was too committed to the play. And in the end, 80% of a champion is not enough to win them a game because Kayn did not evolve yet, I think.
No, he's not transformed.
Yes, he is. Just pop it in to say yes, he is transformed.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he actually.
Oh, no, he totally is. He had the moving W. We're telling a lie. He's absolutely transformed.
Yeah. It's hard to see on the skin though.
That skin is annoying to see it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're just dumb. We don't see Kayn very often. He is blue Kayn. I thought it changed on the minimap. Apparently, it doesn't do that in the spectator.
Yeah, I was looking at the minimap too. I was confused because he didn't get slowed, and I thought that was the blue transformation every time.
It is.
Yeah, the skin just confused me, so apologies. There was an attempt for Baron for percent, just a little bit of a damage check, which I always like to see. They have quite a lot of damage, and the weapon combination maybe not the greatest to take Baron quickly. We are still on 10-12, so you still get Boris to kill the dragon very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. One more patch from that. As Tier 1 still playing PvE. He's got a Medjai's as well, so he's going to be trying to take some snapshots and put them in his journal. Very aggressive here out of this Twisted Fate.
One thing we haven't really talked about with GAM's team composition is their lack of consistent late game damage. They don't have a crit ADC. They don't really have a control mage. They're relying on burst a lot. The top laner doesn't offer consistent damage either. So it's all about burst and single target CC and target access for the side of GAM, while percent is a much more stable team composition with tanks, with frontline, with good CC, and of course Aphelios to bring all the damage. So I feel like in straight up 5v5s, when percent can spot the enemies and know where everyone is.
Tempered Fate catches Easy Love. In they go. The bear calls him in his godhood. And they've already got one onto the Kalista. Redemption used to make sure no one goes down. And it's percent firing back.
Very good catch. At least once again showing us that he's a Bard main, knowing exactly how to throw that ultimate to lock down Easy Love. No chance for him to escape, no flash available, and you can't really do anything about Bard ultimate either, so good engage. And now percent once again showing their decisiveness and immediately moving into the inhibitor turret.
Oh, but here comes Levi. Slay's gone gold, but look at all the damage that Kayn's dealt. It doesn't matter for Slay. He's already dead. And in with a bubble was Glory. Got onto Kiaya, but it's just the one kill. Base not broken yet.
They try to go for the inhibitor. They still get another kill, and they're moving closer and closer in God with a stronger teamfight composition, especially if Kayn is not able to assassinate anyone. Big Coro has finally completed some items. He's even sitting on a stopwatch, which I want to highlight because I feel like it's going to be very, very impactful for the next team fight when Kane gets on top of him. So it looks like Percent is moving into a 2-0 over GAM, in my opinion. It's getting harder and harder for GAM to find team fights.
It is still a long way to go, though. I don't want to call it quite yet. We've got a minute and a half on the Dragon. That's a very important objective. But
absolutely.
Will
we see the Dragon, Bait, and Percent is going for Baron instead? They have a very fast Baron comp. They could go for the Baron sneak.
They could.
I like to see that a lot. Levi is actually not dealing much damage. It's quite disappointing. You see him hit లీసా, the support, and not dealing much damage. Of course, లీసా...
The only lethality he has is an Edge of Night.
Yeah. So he might just not be strong enough against 𝗵𝗂, and not sure what that redemption was. Probably just Laurie using one redemption. And now, immediate start on the Baron. Levi's in the vicinity.
Yep. No white gun here for 𝗂𝗵𝗺, so it's only a regular ADC. There's the Twisted Fate ult, getting a lot of vision, getting perfect vision, in fact. And they call it off. Another little damage check.
YT.
And YT's been caught, but he can pop the ult to jump away. Levi dives forward. There's the hook. And I don't know if you want that one, boys. YT didn't take a huge amount of damage after all.
But now his ult is gone. And his ult is the main tool of his to give him tankiness, because 𝗂𝗵𝗺 is very bad base stats without his ultimate. He's very reliant when it comes to tankiness on his ultimate, so not the strongest bear in the next fight, while Levi didn't blow anything. This is now the soul fight that might decide the game, so it's going to be tense. There's a lot of vision for GAM. They know exactly what's happening, but they might be too late still.
Ooh, the hook has landed, and as we saw, YT does not have ult. He's taking a lot of damage. Will get healed up by the redemption. He goes gold. 𝗬𝗽 going really, really low, and he goes down. Now it's all on Big 𝗂𝗃 to navigate the fight, and 𝗂𝗵𝗺 throws out that Moonlight Vigil. Glory will get one, and GAM is melting away. Percent are looking fantastic. They've got the Infernal Soul. They've got the team fight, and they've got the advantage finally.
𝗬𝗏, he can't do anything anymore. It's just Big 𝗂𝗃 standing there with Infernal Soul, 3 items on 𝗂𝗵𝗺. Is like, you want to fight me, 𝗬𝗏? You really want to fight me? I'm just going to 2-shot you. And now Percent is in the gold lead for the first time ever in this game, where they have been in the lead in terms of map positioning and the game state for a long time now. So the gold lead only shows less than 1k, but it's actually more closer to 5 to, let's say, 7k gold lead. Because the team composition is so much better, the item breakpoints are so strong, and the jungler is so much more useful.
Yeah, I think this Kane is a bit of a failed experiment. It's not like Eagle's been carrying. It's more that the Kane really hasn't done anything.
It's a very strange time to experiment, too. And when you go 0-2, 0-1 down, why don't you bring the Kane out in the first game? That is super surprising to me. And GAM might lose their first 0-2 series in the whole year. They haven't lost 0-2.
Slay. 𝗬𝗽, I should say. No, it is Slay. I'm an idiot. Taking a lot of damage. 𝗬𝗏 dodges the Tempered Fate, but he's got a bear on top of him, and there's a bear in there. As it's an easy kill. Can 𝗬𝗽 get away? He can. Deal1's ult to try and save the base. This absolutely could be the end of the game. The bot lane's dead. Deal1 arrives on the side. Inhib falls.
And, there's the bubble. It's on, yes, though.
Kane has gone in, and this is one of the problems. He just gets run out. Gets CC'd up. They don't need to kill him. And
that was a lot of damage for 𝗬𝗽.
A lot of damage. But a bubble into the stopwatch. 𝗬𝗽, lanterns away. There's no wave. Ooh, and 𝗬𝗽 dies to 𝗚𝗏. I'm not actually sure what even finished him. Okay.
Probably. They still have a wave. Maybe. Now the wave is actually there. And they have TP for YT.
And YT is going back and TPing. This is going to be a very, very close affair. Big 𝗂𝗃 takes some Kane damage.
Every bubble will lead to a kill now.
It out. Absolutely. Here comes a very speedy bear. He doesn't commit to the stun. 1 tower's down. Levi very low. 𝗚𝗏 as well. There's the bubble. Does it lead to a kill? No, 𝗚𝗏's dead. And Deer1 gets absolutely exploded by Glory.
Getting riskier and riskier. No mana
It
left
is.
for everyone.
Ooh, it's a good stopwatch out of Glory. Dodges the W damage from Kane. I
They
think this
have
might
to
be time to
disengage,
call it
finally.
off, boys. Get out of there. Don't do a Buffalo. Just get out. You got one
Another
Nexus
support.
tower. Here comes the TP. GAM don't want to let them go. This is risky, though. You can see the damage already. That was a bro raptor. Down goes Zoe. Kiai is trying to make it happen, but there's still an 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗻. You need to be careful. Big Koro, he doesn't have much mana, but he should have enough auto attacks. But he goes down. No, I tell a lie. Now it's all on Eagle and YT. Eagle's dead, and 𝗚𝗏, they've just overstayed. We've seen it twice in 1 week. Can YT at least survive? He brings in the Stormbringer. He's so tanky. Kiai is dead. Levi, ooh, he gets the wall heal. Oh, what an extended fight.
The absolute craziness. Both teams don't want to stop the fight, but finally it's going to be over. And it's quite an extension to the game for GAM. The longer the game goes, the more chances they have to do anything, because at 6 items, crazy stuff can happen. Renekton can maybe blow up 𝗵𝗂𝗏 before the fight even starts. He has GA now, though, so the normal passage of play now would be Baron into a very easy close. So, what was that? That was so aggressive from 𝗚𝗏. They really wanted to have their win right now, right at this moment, but a little bit stepped a little bit too far forward. Shouldn't cost them too much, though, because they are still in a very strong position to close out this game. They still have the soul on their side, and most importantly, 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗻 on 4 items.
Yeah, it doesn't really get any easier for GAM as this one goes on.
To what
They
they're
do
doing
need to
on
find
that
a
side of the
miracle
map,
fight.
though. Just blow up Baron.
Yeah. They seem to be a little bit impatient. They definitely want their win. Or they're worried about the Elder, and they want to make sure they have vision. But I do feel like they could just go and just execute Baron.
Yeah. Now is actually the perfect time to take Baron and then transition into
Yeah.
Elder and have both buffs to finish the game. Instead, they're once again trying to push a mid lane. What is going on?
This is risky.
𝗚𝗏?
This is very risky. A hook lands onto YT into a good flay, but it's so much damage immediately. Levi diving in, trying to get onto Glory, who goes gold to dodge the damage. Can he navigate his way out? He can't, but 𝗵𝗂𝗏's got the first kill. Can he keep it going? He's firing. 2 for 2 at the moment. Levi wants to get another one and does. It's 3v2. 𝗵𝗂𝗏 has it all to do, and he's got the champ to do it on as he picks up Easy Love. It's Deal1 and Levi, the only ones left. Oh, they will do a lot of healing. Will 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗻? Can they stop the back?
I think Levi pulled the wave. Very nicely done to prevent the final push from happening. I still have no idea why 𝗚𝗏 is doing this. This game could have been so easy if they just went to Baron and to Elder Dragon to get the objectives. Now, another teamfight that doesn't really do much for them, and every teamfight that stalls the game is good for GAM. So, yeah, 𝗚𝗏 really not losing a lot of their decisive shot calling in the late game to close out games. I guess decisive, it's still decisive. It's just bad. So,
yeah,
the intelligent shot calling is gone. It's still decisive, but they need to adjust their goal. Just take the objectives and push in other waves as well. I'm very confused because this is a symptom of low elo games where everyone gets one inhibitor and then just pushes in the inhibitor wave, even though there's nothing to be accomplished in that wave in that lane. Just go to other lanes. Use the natural pressure.
North America?
Yeah, it's only one lane on the map. That's true.
And it looks like they're doing it again. They're still not really setting up for this Elder Drake. No, they're finally moving across now.
What is going on?
Just take the objective. They're finally starting it. YT has hit the damn thing. There's Deal1's ult. He's not particularly close, so he does need to ult to arrive. He goes behind the pit. Levi's
That's
in
very,
the
very
wall,
fast.
5k health on the Drake. 𝗂𝗃 pops the ult. They want to pull off the dragon for now. They're just going to try and get the damage done, but GAM's coming in to reinforce. 𝗬𝗏 will go down, as will Levi. 𝗬𝗏 is hard winning the front side of this fight. Can there be a miracle steal on the Drake? I don't think so. 𝗬𝗏 just does not do enough damage. He goes gold, but it won't buy any time, really. And 𝗬𝗏 have picked up 4, and I think they might be about to pick up a 2-0 over GAM.
Finally, it took so long for them to find the fight, but this GAM had to contest this one because the one thing that will definitely lead to a victory, even if you just push mid lane all the time, is an Elder Dragon, because then you can just dive to your heart's content. So that was the finally good call for 𝗬𝗏 to force GAM to contest. They win the team fight very easily, and now the 2-0 series for 𝗬𝗏 over GAM.
Absolutely. 𝗂𝗃 will try his best to stop them, but it is 𝗬𝗏. The new kids in the league have taken out the winningest org in Vietnam. GAM goes down 2-0. What a series from 𝗬𝗏. They look magnificent.
What is going on in
welcome back.
VCS? What is
And
going
welcome
on?
back, Vinnie, of course. We'll start as we always do. Vinnie, what was your take on that game too?
I was really happy right up until the end, and it sort of just went, "Come on, what are you doing?" But no, other than that, yeah, all of 𝗬𝗏 showed up, seemed to show up today. The Kane pick, once again, as predicted, did sod all. Did
The
sweet
Kane
Fanny
pick
Adam.
was not great.
It did nothing.
Absolutely nothing. What was that?
Yeah.
And this is a really
Yeah.
big change for GAM, in my opinion. This is the first 0-2 all year.
Mhm.
This is a worrying sign. They have now lost 4 games already this season. They are 50-50
Unheard
in
of.
games won and lost. So
It's absurd.
GAM really not looking too good, even though they are still 2-1 in serious score, now tied with 𝗬𝗏 when it comes to that. They are really struggling to find an identity and a way to play the game.
But it seems weird because we felt they had a strong identity in early game sort
That's
of
true.
movements. And then this series, they just didn't try to execute on that sort of thing. They picked sort of nothing champions.
Maybe it's a little bit of experimenting still.
Levi picked nothing champions, but yeah. Yeah, they really didn't do their sort of standard, we're going to try and dive top. They tried in the first game and then it got turned around on them with the Malphite. And then they just ignored 𝗂𝗃 completely this game, in part because they didn't have a jungler that could do anything in the early map. And
So,
yeah.
sorry, to
That's
finish your
weird.
point. It was a very strange one from GAM. We do have to pick an MVP for game number 2.
I really
Who are we
remember.
thinking for game 2? It's not super easy.
Well, it's between 𝗬𝗏 and 𝗵𝗏𝗏, in my opinion. Probably. 𝗵𝗏𝗏.
I'm leaning towards 𝗵𝗏𝗏 for game 2.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 was what really mattered.
Yeah, I actually think his execution wasn't like the best 𝗬𝗏𝗏s ever, but he still stayed alive long enough to get all the damage in. So in the end,
yeah,
probably his MVP. But overall, it's once again a team effort. Actually, with every single 𝗬𝗏 game so far, we have said it's a big team effort.
yeah.
So
It's true.
hard to decide.
It's
It
been very
is-
hard to pick
Indeed.
MVPs for these games.
It has. But we have also picked a player of the series, and that will go to the man up in the top lane playing the tanks. 𝗬𝗏 is our player of the series. He played Malphite and Volibear and looked very, very good on both of them.
Yeah,
Knowing
Really
how to team
impressive
fight.
performance.
His team fighting was incredible, and his laning phase, he played against the best lane in the VCS and top lane, and he struggled a little bit, but not enough to decide anything in top side. So very good to see. He was able to stand up to 𝗂𝗃, and looked way better than him in team fights. So very impressed with YT. And I thought top lane would be a big weakness for 𝗚𝗏. Definitely not looking like that's the case, at least in this series.
No, absolutely not. Looking really good.
He absolutely turned it
And with
around,
that-
and it's good.
Absolutely. And with that, we do see 𝗚𝗏 taking the 2-0 over GAM. They are an absolutely, you can't even discount them anymore. They are not just underdogs. They are a serious team that are here to play. They've stopped GAM's winning streak, and they have stomped their mark on this early period of this split of VCS. So unless you guys have any little final points, that will be it for Series 1. Have anything else you'd like to say? Are we good to take a bit of a break and get ready for Series 2?
I'm good.
All right, that's good. Just wanted to check in. So I'll give everyone a big Teletubby goodbye, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes probably for OPG taking on Team Secret. Another great series. Do go down below the stream. There's a Discord link and stuff. You should click on it. You should join our community. We'd love to have you there. But regardless, my name has been Everyday. With me has been Yulwei and Vinnie. Love having you here, boys. And we love having you here in the chat. And we hope you're here for Series 2 in just a little bit.